Good evening, Ma'am Teresa. My name is Daniel Kim M. Alico, and this is my comparison and contrast of test results on the linguistic landscape study on stress management. To start, a linguistic landscape study examines the visible language we use in public spaces such as street signs, billboards, advertisements, and graffiti. Linguistic landscape is present in our everyday lives, which is why we conducted a study with the purpose of conducting a pre-test and post-test on individuals in the San Juan National High School to use it as a tool to measure changes in the students' understanding on stress management with the use of linguistic landscape. So our objectives for this is that it aims to evaluate the differences in students' knowledge, analytical skills, and perceptions before and after the study. Another is that it seeks to analyze the effectiveness of the teaching strategies via the use of the linguistic landscape, which will be the posters that will be used to spread information within their area. The comparison of both the pre-test and the post-test indicates the changes on the student's ability to understand stress management through linguistic landscape. So after we have conducted the pre-test, the general average of the scores of the 40 participants, which I have chose grade 9 Del Pilar for the pre-test, reached about 56%. The highest score achieved was around 9 out of 10, and the lowest was 1 out of 10 of the questionnaire. The use of linguistic landscape in public spaces will only allow other dialect speakers to understand the message of the signage. Different languages and dialects to be used for linguistic landscape is identified by the location where the signage is located in. The students claimed that the signages in society did not necessarily require multilingual use, that as long as people can understand and read the message, it does not matter where it is situated in. The participants only have a surface level of understanding on linguistic patterns, which is observable. A common misconception they would make is that they would assume that the message can already be effective with the use of only one widely known dialect. And another weakness that I have observed during the pretest is that among the students is that they were unable to link with the social and cultural factors of signages. So we have done a post test and which the results state that the general average of scores of the participants of the same section have improved from a 56% of average to a 78% of average for the scores. The highest score reached 10 out of 10, which is a good sign, and the lowest that reached only 3 out of 10. Linguistic landscapes creates connections and communications between two or more different communities and cultures, as well as allow the widespread of a conveyed message of the signage due to its visual aids and language use. Multilingualism in signages can also indicate the promotion of a culture in a certain community. In this test, we have observed that students now have realized that multilingualism used in the poster can now help other speakers of certain dialects and interests in understanding the information conveyed by the poster on stress management. Along with it is that they also recognize the language variation around the campus and that they can now apply improvements to their communication skills with different people and are now aware of the multilingual nature of the school. Um, the there are now lesser errors in their understanding of deeper aspects in stress management, which is good. However, the participants have created awareness of public language policy and social equity as well. So to compare and contrast both the pre-test and the post-test, the score significantly increased from the pre-test to the post-test, in which 56% increased to 78%. To prove this statistical improvement, I used um, a Z statistics with a null hypothesis of being lesser than or equal to 56%, which is the percentage of the average of the pre-test, and the alternative hypothesis being greater than or equal to 56%. An amount of 40 participants and a confidence level of 95% will be used. So we have a t-score now of 1.99 and a t-statistic of negative 2.5, which indicates that there is a statistically significant difference of the two proportions, 56 and 78%. So in the pretest, students did not yet have the high knowledge regarding stress management, and as well as did not deeply understand the importance of language use in signages. And then after the post-test, we have observed that students and the participants now realize that the linguistic landscape allows language inclusivity among culture and society for a message of the signage to be known by many. By the pre-test as well, we have also observed that students thought that multilingual signs did not convey any deeper meaning as well as for the stress management. However, after the post-test, they have now acquired the perspective of inclusion for other languages, and it has also widened. The improvements that are observed, in which an individual from the sample or a student from the same section that was mentioned that was seen communicating to someone who is deaf and using hand sign language to communicate with them. The areas, however, that need to be improved the most were their recognition of language policies in linguistic landscape, and the persistent languages, despite the improvements, were the struggling of the understanding deeper interpretations and grasping the concept of linguistic language. So to interpret the results, the improvement indicates that the classroom and discussions and the posture that was used for their observation and to use it to improve with the post-test were effective. It had positive results as they were able to realize the importance of the linguistic landscape and its roles in our lives. The participants have become more interactive with signages as well as learning other languages through linguistic landscape. As I have mentioned, someone has been learning sign languages due to one of these. Classroom discussions as well as the interactive posters spread across the campus have been helpful for them to apply their learning in linguistic landscape to their communication skills, and they can use that to communicate with other people who cannot speak with the same language as them. So there is still need for reinforcement in areas where the students still struggled, such as grasping the concept of linguistic landscape, and that there is a potential curriculum adjustments are needed as well. This is to improve the teaching outcomes regarding the subject. To conclude everything that has been said in this video, the pretest, only having 56% of the total score, showed that the students did not yet fully understand linguistic landscape and its roles to our daily life. They did not know why multilingual policies and signages exist, and that only one language matters as long as you understand the message being conveyed. So, in their initial understanding of linguistic landscape, they had no idea that it would include the other different languages in order for a message of a signage to be understood. At the end of this study, we have observed after the post-test, they have improved their scores from 56% to 78%, and it introduced these students to appreciate the importance and roles of linguistic landscape to daily life, and allow themselves to embrace other languages through signage and encourage inclusivity in the society. So we can learn from this study is that the importance of learning the linguistic landscape for linguistic awareness is that it allows people to be social-linguistically aware and also embrace the social and cultural inclusivity, making more and more people feel welcomed and included, not just someone of the same bloodline as yours, the same cultural heritage as yours, but also the foreign people who do not have the same bloodline nor the same cultural heritage nor the nationality that you have. Um, However, there are suggestions that I would like to make to improve this study further. Number one is to enhance the instructional strategies to incorporate the students to the real world experiences and include interactive activities regarding linguistic landscape and their understanding for multilingualism in the society. Another is to expand the study scope from rooms to campus. I know it is a very difficult thing to do since we are only students who uh, do not have the entire control of the school, and that we are only limited to only a specific amount of people who could use a sample. But if there is a possible way that we can, then it is good, because not only did it have a important effect on one section, it also make an important and the rooms and the sections that we have chose. But we could also apply this to the campus itself in order to create a overall improvement for the also to create a overall awareness for the entire campus, and that it could also add knowledge to it. And lastly is to promote the critical thinking beyond the classroom. Thank you for listening.